for joining us for this episode of Cook and Crave. Today we are going to make a really easy beef stroganoff sandwich. It's a different twist to regular beef stroganoff that you're making your noodles. It is a very fast, easy, and delicious meal that you can make for your family. It would work good if you're having company as well because it does serve a large portion of people. So today, here's my mother, Laverne to tell us how to make this beef stroganoff sandwich and demonstrate how to prepare it.
Okay,
Laverne.
We're going to go over to our stove here, and we're going to start with 2 pounds of browned hamburger, and I did use the lean ground beef, and if your ground beef isn't lean, I would suggest that you go ahead and drain it.
Okay.
So our seasonings, we're going to put in half a cup of onion, and we're going to put about a teaspoon of salt in, or about a half teaspoon, and about a teaspoon of pepper, or 1 to 1.5 teaspoons pepper. If you like more pepper, just add more pepper. Otherwise, just to your taste, and a little bit of garlic powder, and that calls for a half teaspoon garlic powder. So just blend that in here and get that stirred up.
Alright, so the hamburger was pretty much browned already. We're just mixing in these few ingredients here.
Yes. Okay, just mix it thoroughly.
And we did use a potato masher. Again, if you can see Laverne using this, it really does chop the hamburger really fine, and it's an easy tool to use. It's something that you don't have to just limit yourself to making mashed potatoes. So experiment with what utensils you have in your kitchen as well when you're doing your cooking.
Okay. Now we have that mixed well, and we're going to add 2 cups of sour cream. So 1 container, 16 ounces, equals 2 cups of sour cream. So you don't have to pre-measure that if you're making the full recipe there. Put that in there. And then we just want to mix that well. In fact, we're going to take that off of the heat, and because you don't reheat the hamburger and sour cream mixture.
Okay.
You're just going to get that stirred well.
And looks like it's a very simple recipe to make, that you're just mixing this together.
In fact, I'm going to get rid of my hamburger masher, and I'm going to use a spoon for the rest of this. Or even my spatula. I like using a spatula because you can just, it's easy to mix with, and that just stir it completely.
And you used, garlic. If that's something, a seasoning, you, like you said, season to taste. If you like a little bit more pepper, a little bit more garlic, you can certainly add after you got your meat mixture and the sour cream together. If you would like a little bit stronger taste, go ahead and feel free to add.
That's right. You can always add, but you can't take it out. Okay, now being that is mixed well, we'll just bring it over here to the counter. And I'm going to put that on here. We're going to take a loaf of just French bread.
And this is something that we did purchase. It's not something that is a homemade bread. So it's something very easy.
Okay. And then you're going to take your knife, and you're going to just cut that loaf in half. Just right down the middle. I usually leave it connected to the other side so that when we have it like this, then the hamburger doesn't fall in between. So we already got that cut, and all next we have to do is just put the mixture on our beef, on our French bread. Okay. Now that, and we'll just spread it out evenly here.
And this you know, as you can see, it is a very different take on beef stroganoff. That it's easy. It's something that working families, when you don't have a lot of time but you want a nice warm meal, this is a nice alternative. Once this process is done, and we're going to add some veggies and cheese to the top and the baking process, for all those families that may have children in sporting events that you need to run to games for, or you have different events going on in the evening but you still want to have a nice warm meal, this is a very good choice.
And then I chopped 1 green onion. So again, just to evenly just spread your green onion over your...
Is this green onion or green pepper?
Oh, excuse me. It's green pepper. Thank you.
It's really dark green to be green onion.
That's right. No, let's not use all... If you had all this in onion, it'd be pretty strong. It is green pepper.
And I myself like the taste of yellow peppers and orange peppers. That would certainly give it a little bit more festive color too. In addition to the green pepper, if you want to use half a green pepper, half an orange, or if you prefer just an orange or a yellow, that's something you can certainly do to make this beef stroganoff sandwich.
Your green pepper has a little bit stronger flavor to it than your yellow or your red, so depends upon your liking. And I chopped 2 medium-sized tomatoes here. And just, you don't want a tomato that's real seedy. If you have tomatoes that are real seedy, cut them a little bit beforehand so that that juice will be able to kind of drain and stay in your bowl, so that you don't have that all over. You make your loaf soggy.
Right.
Okay. And the next thing we add is 2 cups of cheddar cheese. And it could be your mild cheddar, sharp cheddar, just again, what your preference is. If you like a stronger cheese flavoring, you know, you can, you know, use your sharp cheddar cheese, or else we usually like the mild cheddar. So 2 to 3 cups is usually adequate for covering this loaf. And when we have that on, we bake it for 20 to 25 minutes. If you like a little crispier bread, bake it at least 25 at 350, or else 20 minutes is fine too.
Okay.
And this here, it heats up. If you have leftovers, it heats very nicely. All right, now we have the cheese on. It's ready to take over to the oven. I've preheated the oven at 350, so we're going to pop that in the oven. And we're going to set the timer, and like I said, if you like a little crispier bread, go to 25 minutes, and that's usually where I like to put mine. So all we have to do now is wait. So it's a quick, easy supper or lunch, and it probably takes maybe a half hour from start to finish. So it's a quick meal. A
quick meal. And while that is in the oven, we do have a dessert that we're going to make. In addition to the beef stroganoff loaf today, we are going to be making an easy cheesecake. That's a no-bake cheesecake that is simple to make and is a nice addition to the beef stroganoff sandwich. So we're going to show you how to prepare that as well today.
We're going to make our no-bake cheesecake. We're going to start out with graham cracker crust. I used about 2 cups of graham crackers, crushed, and about a 1/3 cup butter melted, and then you just mix that, and then you want to bake it in the oven for about 10 minutes. So that is the finished crust. And we're going to use our blender, and this is the only bowl that I'm going to need. This recipe calls for a can of condensed milk, but I'm going to show you an easy way to make condensed milk from scratch if you don't have a can of condensed milk, and it's definitely more economical.
Okay.
So what we start with is 2/3 cup sugar and a cup of instant powdered milk, instant milk.
Okay.
There, and we use 3 tablespoons of butter.
Now, are you going to want to do substitutions? Is margarine fine, or do you really recommend butter?
You certainly can use margarine if you would rather, if you don't have butter on hand. I guess most of my recipes anymore I use butter. There's so much talk about margarine, how it's so close to being plastic, that I just like butter.
Okay.
So we've added the 2/3 cup sugar, the 1 cup instant powdered milk, 3 tablespoons of butter, and now I'm going to add 1/3 cup boiling water.
Okay.
So we're going to put that in there, and then all we have to do is blend that.
Now, this is the recipe for the sweetened condensed milk. This is the portion if you didn't have your can at home and you wanted to use what you probably might already have in your kitchen instead of that can. If you did want to use that can of condensed milk, you would just have added the can of condensed milk here at this point, correct?
That's right.
Without,
yes.
Okay.
Okay, now that is mixed well. The next thing you do is add an 8-ounce package of cream cheese to that. And we're going to add 1/3 cup lemon juice. And about a teaspoon of vanilla. And I just happen to have white vanilla, but you can use your dark vanilla or whatever. It's not going to make a difference.
Okay.
So now we want to blend that well. Okay, I'm going to just stop that, and I'm going to make sure that the sides and everything got mixed well.
Now, if you didn't have a blender, is this something that you would recommend a hand mixer? Would that, get the right consistency as well to get it smooth?
Yes, you can use an electric mixer or a hand mixer. It's just going to take a little bit longer to beat than what your blender will take. Okay, and that should be done already. So you can see there, and all we have to do now is pour it into your crust. And you want your crust cool. You don't want to take your crust out of the oven and put your filling on it right away, because then that will make it kind of, water, a little bit more watery, not quite as thick a consistency.
Now, if you didn't, you just have this a plain cheesecake right here. You added a little bit of vanilla in. Is this something that you could add different flavorings in to make it a little bit of different flavoring, and just sprinkle a little bit of graham cracker crust on top? Have you ever tried that?
I've not. I think I would pretty much stay with your vanilla flavoring. With a cheesecake, it's kind of hard to adjust to different flavorings in there and that. So just spread that nice and evenly.
You could do this in a 9-inch pie plate as well as a 9x13 pan.
Oh yes,
you? Okay.
Yes, definitely. And what I do then now is I put it in the fridge and let it set up, and then I add I'm going to add a can of blueberry filling on top of it. So it's going to be a blueberry no-bake cheesecake. But you can use canned cherries, any fruit that you like better, but the family likes the blueberries, so that's what we're going to do. So we're going to take that and we're going to just put that into the refrigerator for about 10 minutes just to set that filling a little bit more, and then we can already put your blueberries on it or any other filling fruit that you like, and I would refrigerate it then for about an hour, and after that it's ready to serve.
All right.
So that was very simple, and it's really very good.
Simple and fast. Okay. Here's the chilled cheesecake, so we're going to add our fruit filling now.
Yes. And we only had it in the fridge about 10 minutes, but you can see it has really set up well. So using your condensed milk that we made from scratch works really well.
It does, and it was very fast and easy. This is something, again, our family does enjoy is the blueberry, but please use the filling of your choice. If it's cherry, apple, or if you don't even want a fruit filling at all, you can always reserve a little bit of graham cracker and sprinkle that on the top. And I think that all turns out to be a very delicious cheesecake, and again, that's fast and easy.
Okay, there we go. And that's the buzzer for our beef stroganoff loaf, so that's already done. So now this is done, and I would just cover it with a piece of cellophane and put it back in the fridge and refrigerate it for about another hour before serving.
And you can see the finished product here, that is a very colorful cheesecake, and it is as delicious as it does look.
Okay, we heard the buzzer for the beef stroganoff loaf, so we're going to go get that and bring it out. And we'll just set it here, and you can just see how good that looks. The cheese is nice and melted, and the crust on that got pretty brown. Now I can lift that up and show you, to what that looks like there. So we're going to transfer it onto a big cutting board so that you can cut this.
And the nice thing about this dish is you can take as little or as much as you like when you're serving. So when you have a family, you cut it to your family's preference.
So I can just cut that into individual serving size. But this here, we have in the past used individual hoagie buns, that you can take the hoagie buns and cut them in half, and this way you'd have individual serving size and you wouldn't have to cut it like this. That works well too.
That would. And if you're going to do an individual serving size like that too, you could even specialize the toppings that you put on. Maybe you have one family member that prefers green peppers versus orange or yellow, and one that doesn't. So you can really tailor it to individual tastes if you do use the individual hoagie buns.
That's right. And you're going to bake at the same length of time, that 20 to 25 minutes. So this is the finished product. So
thank you for joining us today on Cooking Crave, where today we made an easy beef stroganoff sandwich loaf and an easy no-bake blueberry cheesecake. I would like to thank my mother Laverne for hosting with me and cooking these dishes. If you have a recipe that you would like to submit, please go to www.ctctel.com. If you have something that you would like made but don't have a recipe for, please submit that request as well. And again, we want to thank you for joining us today on Cooking Crave, and good luck cooking in your kitchen.